Have you ever had your phone die when you needed to make the most important call of your life? Or missed the bus by a nanosecond and watched it speed away in a cloud of smoke and apathy? Frustration is not just a bothersome houseguest, it is also that cousin who stays too long. He, or more accurately, it is all your snacks, moves in and starts living there. All of us have been there. I am caught up in this bad mess. But do not just put a band-aid on it and say, it is fine. Let us get rid of this problem for good. Today, we will look at 7 Stoic ways to not just deal with anger, but to get rid of it for good. If you are new here, I have a little task for you. Smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to improve your mental game and become a rock in this ocean of chaos. Now, strap in and let us get started. Pay attention to what you can control. Real problems do not bother people as much as the worries they make up about real problems, said Epictetus. First, let us talk about control, or more accurately, the illusion of it. You cannot change the traffic that makes you late, or the weather that ruins your lunch. You can control how you feel and what you think about it. This is not magic fairy dust that changes your life. It is a change in how you think. For example, let us say you miss a bus. You could punch the air and throw a fit, or you could take a deep breath, relax, listen to a podcast, or just look up and enjoy the sky. The bus has already left, and no amount of anger will bring it back. In today's fast-paced world, everyone wants to do, be, and achieve more. We are constantly getting messages that say, our worth depends on how much we get done. But life is not a list that never ends. It is a collection of planned and unplanned moments that come together to make the tapestry of our lives. So the next time something does not go the way you want, stop and ask yourself, is this something I can change? If the answer is no, take a deep breath and let go. If yes, do something about it. There is no point in getting upset about a lost bus when you could find another way to get where you need to go. This first Stoic concept can make you feel free. It is like getting rid of all the apps on your phone that you never use. You did not know how much space they took up until they were gone. If you let go of the things you cannot control, you will have more room in your life for what really counts. Imagine a world where everyone just followed this one rule. There would not be any more road rage, tempers would not flare up in the grocery store line, and computer warriors would not lose their cool over a tweet. That is a world that is worth working for. So take the first step and focus on what you can change. Zoom out to get a bigger picture and a look from above. Do not try to make everything happen the way you want it to. Instead, wish that everything happens the way it actually will. Epictetus. You know how in movies, the camera zooms out so you can see everything from a bird's eye view? It is easy to forget that our own world is only a small part of the whole universe. Sometimes we need a bird's eye view to put things in perspective and see that the problems we face are small in the big picture. Are you upset that your Wi-Fi is not working? Imagine seeing this from space, where even the biggest cities look like dots on a globe. Pretty small, right? This change in point of view can cut through anger like a hot knife through butter. I am not trying to say that your problems are not important. What I mean is that we sometimes give them power over us by making them bigger in our minds. We make anthills into mountains and then wonder why they are so hard to climb. Now, practicing the view from above is not a way to run away from your problems. You cannot just ignore a flat tire or a tight schedule. But if you change the way you look at them and think about how important they are in the bigger picture of life, they become easier to deal with. How come it works? Because taking a step back makes your problem seem smaller and makes you appreciate what you have more. If you are healthy, have a roof over your head, and people who care about you, are not those things more important than a small change in your plans? This Stoic practice is not just mental gymnastics. It is about getting back in touch with what is important. And when you look at the picture as a whole, the cells that make it up seem less skewed. So the next time something does not go your way, and you find yourself getting more and more upset, take a step back. You might find that the problem is not as big as it seemed, allowing you to face it head-on instead of being frozen by it. Use the power of the moment. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about the future." We are always in a hurry, right? We are always in a hurry to finish school, get a job, fall in love, and check off all the other things that society says will make us whole. In this never-ending rush, it is easy to miss the present. Stoics, on the other hand, argue for a break and a focus on the present. In the digital age we live in now, it might seem harder than ever to be in the moment. Notifications come at us all the time. News feeds are a distraction, and worries about tomorrow often overshadow the joys of today. But here's the thing, this pulling forward or backward often makes people angry. Either we are annoyed because things are not going as fast as we would like, or because of something that happened in the past. By putting your attention on the present, you take back your time. It is like stopping a leak in a ship that is about to sink. You are no longer letting your energy leak into things you cannot control, like the past, which you cannot change, or the future, which you cannot know. Do not misunderstand me. Planning is important, and it is good to learn from mistakes. But letting them take over your present is like bringing trouble from the future or sorrow from the past into the present. So how can you show up more? Start by shutting out noise from the outside world. Turn off notifications that are not important. Set aside time to do nothing, practice mindfulness, or just be fully present in whatever you are doing. Taste, do not just eat. Do not just listen, pay attention. Touch, but also feel. Being in the present can also help you feel better when you are frustrated, because it helps you focus on what you can do right now. It makes things easier to understand and gives a sense of peace. When you use the power of now, you give anger less room and time to stay. You cannot control everything, but you can decide what to pay attention to. And when that light is on the present, you will find that a lot of your problems just vanish into thin air. Check your wants and handle them. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in our minds than in the real world." Let us talk about the close relative of anger, which is desire. You want something to happen, and when it doesn't, you get frustrated. It is as easy as that. The dichotomy of desire was a way for the Stoics to deal with this. Stoicism divides wants into two groups, those that make sense and those that don't. Some natural needs are for food, a place to live, and good health. Wants like fame, too much money, and other useless things are examples of vain desires. The key is to give in to your natural wants as much as they help your well-being, but to be very careful with your useless desires. We all want more, whether it is more money, more likes, or more stuff. But have you ever noticed that trying to get these things makes you feel more empty than satisfied? It is like running on a track and hoping to get to a place that is just out of reach. Now, the Stoic way to deal with this is not to give up all desires. That is neither realistic nor helpful. The goal is to be able to control your wants and needs, to weigh them on a measure of how important they really are before getting upset that you cannot get what you want. Ask yourself why you want that thing in the first place. You will find that changing what you want will automatically make you feel less frustrated. Think about it. If you do not chase after goals that are too big or too small, you will be less likely to be disappointed and, by extension, less likely to be frustrated. But how do you know which wants are worth going after? A good rule of thumb is to ask yourself if getting what you want will really make you happier and help you grow as a person. If you want social approval or short-term pleasure more than anything else, you might want to think again. Understanding the two sides of desire is like giving your mind an update. It makes your goals clearer, helps you focus better, and improves your total performance. And when you set goals, the less room there is for anger to grow, the better. So go ahead and look at what you want. Once you clear them out, it will be much easier to move through life with a sense of purpose instead of being blown around by the winds of meaningless wants. Think about things that are bad. Seneca said, "How does it help to make things worse by complaining?" Before you jump to conclusions, negative image is not about being a Debbie Downer. It is more about getting your mind ready for possible failures so you can handle them with grace and strength. Imagine that everything goes wrong with your day. You spill your coffee, your computer crashes, and you miss your train. Now, let us take a break. This has not happened yet, but if it does, you have already gone through it in your mind, so you are ready. This exercise is great in two ways. First, it helps you get over the original shock of bad things that happen. So when the Wi-Fi inevitably goes down 5 minutes before your big presentation, you do not worry. You adapt because you have already been there in your mind. Second, thinking about how bad things are makes you appreciate good things even more. You start to appreciate the little things, like coffee that does not spill or a train that arrives on time, because you know they are not always there. Your happiness grows because you know how easily things could go the other way. But you might be wondering, will not thinking negatively make me nervous or negative? The straight-faced answer is a loud no. The goal is not to dwell on the bad, but to talk about it enough that it doesn't bother you as much. Do not use this as a reason to always think the worst. That is not what it is about. It is about making peace with uncertainty and getting ready for the surprises that life may throw at you. Remember that stress and frustration are not caused by the scenario itself, but by how you see it. And the way you think about setbacks changes after you have met them in your thoughts. So, try this. The next time you're sipping your morning coffee, take a few minutes to think about possible problems and then let them go. You will find that when life throws you a surprise, you will be able to handle it like a pro instead of freaking out like a beginner. Now, I am going to give you a task. If you have made it this far, I am sure you can keep going. Trust me, the part that will change you the most is in the end. Do you have the patience to stick with it? Show it. Stay with me until the end, and I promise you will not be sorry. Love your fate, or amor fati. Seneca said, "Fate leads the willing and drags along the unwilling." If you have been nodding along so far, the next Stoic idea, amor fati, or love your fate, might really hit home for you. It is not enough to just accept what happens to you. You have to embrace it, love it, and know that everything you go through is a lesson in disguise. Did you lose your job? Instead of being sad, think of it as a chance to change careers or learn something new. You are no longer together. Even though it is hard, it could be the universe's way of telling you that there is something better for you out there. This does not mean you should not feel sad or disappointed, because those are normal human feelings. The calm way is to feel them and admit them, but then turn the situation around. Ask yourself, how will this make my life better? It is about turning something that most people think is bad into a different kind of good. Also, amor fati is freeing because it frees you from having grudges and finding fault, which can be so draining. When your default setting is try me, there is no room for why me. So the next time you run into a problem, do not just put up with it. Instead, accept it. Love your fate, and your fate will start to love you back. It is not about ignoring the problems in life. Instead, it is about finding a way to dance in the rain instead of waiting for it to stop. Remember that you are going to die. Seneca said, "Let us prepare our minds as if we were going to die tomorrow. Let us put off nothing. Let us balance the books of life every day." This one might be a little sad, but stay with me. The term memento mori means remember you will die, but it is not meant in a bad way. It is a strong warning that we only have a limited amount of time, so we should live in an honest, passionate way and pay attention to what really matters. The idea of death makes life's uncertainties very clear. When you think about how short life is, your problems suddenly seem small. Are you going to waste your time worrying about a mean remark or a small setback? Stoics say that realizing that we are going to die helps us cut through life's small problems and focus on what is really important. But there is more to it than that. Knowing that our time is limited makes us feel like we need to act quickly. It makes us want to move, change, grow, and make up our minds today, not tomorrow. You cannot put off important things anymore because you know that life does not give you a lot of chances to do things over. So how can you use memento mori without making your life too sad? Use it every day as a reminder. When you are annoyed or stuck, ask yourself, in the big picture of my short life, how important is this moment? More often than not, you will find that what you are worrying about is not important enough to make you lose your peace of mind. The point of memento mori is not to make people afraid, but to get them to act and be grateful. It is a tool for separating the gold from the sand, or what really counts from the noise that is always around us. By reminding yourself that everything changes, you can lessen your anger and make your life better. Your days have more meaning, you act with more intention, and you value your time more. It is the best way to keep you grounded while pushing you to live your life to the fullest. So, here are 7 Stoic ways to deal with anger straight on. You can use them one at a time or mix and match them to see what works best for you. Start is the key. After all, a trip of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, and for you, that first step is to stop being frustrated. Is not it powerful to know that anger, no matter how scary it seems, can be controlled, that you do not have to be its slave, but rather its master? By following these Stoic teachings, you gain more than just information. You also gain wisdom, which is a rare and valuable thing in our fast-paced world. If you felt like you understood something or got a spark of energy from these ideas, do not keep it to yourself. Try to get involved in this group as much as you can. Click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up. Let us not just go through life, but dive into it and look for all the lessons and joys it has to offer. Are you ready to learn more about Stoicism? Find out how to live a happy life with our exclusive ebook, which you can get by clicking on the link in the saved comments. And finally, leave a comment below telling us which practice spoke to you or if you have found your own way to deal with life's changes and turns. Because growing up is not something you do alone, and your ideas might be the light that someone else needs. Until we talk again, use your inner stoicism and face life's winds head on. You can do it.